Hey, welcome everybody. This is Tech Talk, and it's November, and it's time for the annual Christmas program where we suggest tech type items for your gift giving. And here with me, we've got three people on today: uh, Kingsley Meyer and Dwayne Rigsby from Skype from the South Centers. So here's Kingsley.
I've traded in my pumpkin latte for a cinnamon spice mocha, so bring on the holiday season.
It is that time.
Okay, here's Dwayne.
He's looking festive. Look at that green background. All we need
Yeah,
is
you
some,
like that? It's getting ready for Christmas. That's the tree that'll be the background. See?
well, get some paper and get an elementary school kid to help you cut out snowflakes.
Yep, we got to decorate it up now. Absolutely.
Okay, let's get right to business. So, I've got a couple silly ones in here, which it may not be silly for you. And Dwayne, you can't see it, but this is the Furbo dog cam, and you can treat and talk and watch your dog from afar over the internet.
And that's because the Internet of Things brings us products that we need in our daily life.
But if you have a
Now, is that part of Mike? Is that part of the ones that you can remotely give them a treat as well?
yeah, it pops out a treat. There's a treat tosser. There's a barking sensor, a mic and speaker, so you can talk to him, like sit, and then you can toss him a treat, which might be fun.
I think the Red Storm of Pioneer Trail would pick it up and carry it around.
Yeah, I'm afraid he would just chew through the whole thing. It's like, there's treats in there? I got it.
I'll find him.
Okay, there is a Nito Bovac D7, and this one's a little bit different because it has square edges. It gets in the corners. It has laser type tracking. It will remember the layout of your house, and I think it's got like 2 hours of charge time. And supposedly a bigger roller so it'll handle pet hair, which come to my house if you want a challenge.
Well, I think we'll do the labs versus the burners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I have to say is, wow, that's neato.
Yeah, $600. How much do you want to spend on vacuuming your house? All right,
Yeah,
Xbox
I'm
One.
not there yet.
Yeah, Xbox One. I don't know if any of us use Xboxes. I don't. I'm not a gamer. I do have a couple gaming things in here.
I got a question about consoles like that. Not necessarily the Apple TV, but
Right.
as people start cutting the cord, and I don't know where you are, Dwayne, with cord cutting, but do these have the apps loaded on it
Yeah,
for
it'll play
Netflix
Netflix and
and
all that.
Hulu? Does it have the new Disney Channel? Do they download that?
That I'm not
or
sure
do they
of.
compete for content?
That
Yeah,
could
I'm
be.
not sure that I don't know yet if the Xbox has the Disney app. I have not looked at that yet, but I do know that we have several members here that have already gotten the Disney app and is running it.
Okay.
It does have a Blu-ray player, so you can play
Yep.
movies, and it'll stream stuff. So
Actually, I take that back. We do have I have an Xbox at home, and that's what actually we use it for, is to play DVDs,
oh, okay.
movies still. So that's our DVD player, if you would. So,
Okay. Next is the Apple TV, which I don't think there was much upgrade to it. I think there was 4K before. It's $180, but the big news on that is Apple has started their own streaming service for not a whole lot of money, and they have their own programs, which that's what everybody fights with. Netflix has their original programming. Apple has their original programming. I'm sure there's other ones. Amazon that have their original.
YouTube TV.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. If you don't want to wear a watch and you want to check yourself as far as activity, the Motive Smart Ring will track that for $200, and it's not a lot bigger than a couple of nickels, and will run for a couple days.
Interesting.
It doesn't have a screen or anything, so it just transmits to your watch. So it works with the Apple phone health app. All right. You can get a Bluetooth speaker, which we have a Bluetooth speaker we use often. Do you guys have Bluetooth speakers?
We have a Logitech, and then I have a Acoustic Research one that was on sale at the bookstore. But I always put my phone on the charger, let it sit on top, and then I let the speaker blast out while I'm working in the workshop.
Yeah, that's about what I do. And Marshall puts out some pretty good stuff. I tested a couple of those, and I'm not sure about this one in particular, but Marshall does make some that have a good bass response.
I think a wireless charger on top would make it really nice, because you could set your phone on top, have it charge, and hit the Bluetooth sound.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't check into it, but it may have a USB out where you could, plug into it.
Cool.
All right, if you're a gamer and you are serious about gaming, Logitech has a Lightspeed G502 for $150. It's a mouse with 11 programmable buttons. And the thing I was thinking is like, okay, there are kids that will know how to operate this, but not the washer and dryer.
I like it.
And the strange thing about this, which I guess if you're really serious about gaming, there are weights that you can add to the front, back, sides, and stuff to balance it out for your particular type of gameplay, which I don't exactly get, but okay.
Well, you could use it for Excel, so you could do it for your Excel play instead of your play style.
There you go.
Okay, if you're serious about sound, which I haven't really seen too many things in the media about audiophiles, but the thing about audiophiles was back in the 70s you could have big stereos and people worried about what their music sounded like. This one is $1,600, Bluetooth, and hooks up to your TV and different things. So if you want some decent sound, that's an expensive one, but I guess a goodie.
I've never taken sound off my Samsung TV to a device except by one of the optic cables. And I've gone from the optic cable into a sound system, like an old surround sound, and that works pretty well. I just have to remember that I'm not using the TV controller to up and down volume. I have to go to that other one because it's a straight output, and then my sound system volume is the one that's handling all the controls. But as you get older, you forget which one of these things you're using.
Yeah.
I wish they just made a remote just for all of them.
Yeah. Okay, next is a GoPro Hero 8. I just thought the 7 just came out. I've got a 6. This is 4K, 60 frames a second. You can do slow-mo with it. It will also stream at 1080p, which I thought was pretty cool. And I guess the thing that you want out of a GoPro and different things is stabilization. Stabilization is one of the things they've been working on through the 6 through the 8. The thing I'd like to play with is probably a 360 camera, which I don't have one on here, but that seems like it might be kind of cool. Sound canceling headphones. Got some here for $300 from Beats. You guys wear big headphones?
No, I mean, I've got sound canceling Bose that I stick in my ears, and they do a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And they're easy to carry as I travel.
Yeah.
But those look comfy and soft.
Yeah, things have gone kind of backwards. Everything was getting smaller and smaller, and then now we're looking at records in the stores and big fat headphones.
Yeah, I think you're right. They are going backwards.
Yeah. A power supply or a battery power supply for your phone. And one of the ones I like is one with a solar panel, so you could just throw it up on the dash of your car and it would always be charged. You wouldn't have to worry about charging your charger.
One thing I read a story on last night was the dangers of plugging into for charging, plugging in your phone at an airport, and that you don't know who's actually supplying the power or what's behind that USB system.
Oh, because that's a communication port too, right?
Yeah. So they say, use one of those power blocks. You can charge those because they're not an intelligent device like a smartphone. And then you could always just take your charger, plug it into the electrical outlet and charge. But you shouldn't necessarily trust those that are supplied by the airport. And I question that because I wonder, really, who's in charge of that equipment into the airport and how are they going to hack into something? It should be just straight off the power line going through the chairs and stuff, and then just convert it to the 5 volts that you need for your charger. But
Right.
I don't know. I'm not the IT security guy. I just play one on Tech Talk.
It sounds like a good idea, though. Just have something in between that's not a communication device.
Mike, I've got one of those chargers. It's just a brick. It looks like your phone,
Right.
but and you just plug into it itself, and it had a solar panel on it as well.
Right.
And what I found was, you could lay it up in the dash or whatever, but their rules was don't leave it in the direct sun and get too hot. And I'm like, but it's a solar panel. It needs sun. It needs light to charge.
So I guess the lithium battery getting hot's a problem.
Yeah, yeah, that was the whole problem. And I did that one day. I left it in the truck where it was charging, and it swelled up to almost half almost half again the size. And I called them and got a refund, and they're like, "Oh, this must have been a defective battery." And I didn't exactly say that.
Yeah, that's
I left
a
it in the
ticket.
truck, but it was the whole point of it is that's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, you would think you could leave a solar panel thing in the sun.
Well,
I don't know if it was the car part of it or what.
It's operating off of daylight, not direct sunlight. So
Not
the
direct
direct
sun-
sunlight is just probably a little bit too much, and it sends so much electricity to the battery that it causes that to malfunction.
All right, and here's a charging tray for your phone. You can see the phone off to the left. I don't know if that watch is actually charging. It probably isn't. But I think these chargers, hopefully, is a movement to make them look more like things in your house and not a techie thing that's plugged in, so it will blend into a nice decor.
We looked at this before the show, and I'm going to guess that's a tray to put
Right.
your jewelry in, and then the charging part's just underneath the phone. Because people go to bed, they put their phone down, and then they put their pocket items and jewelry off to the side.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to get hooked up to the internet and have the internet listening to you. Here's a Nest Mini for almost $50.
Yeah,
That's on
and
the
one of
low
the
end.
things that you got to know is that the Google Home has been renamed, from an industry standpoint as the Google Nest, and it's part of their whole environment where they've got their thermos and everything else. But like the Alexa Echo Mini, was it called?
Right.
Those from
We have
the
an Echo
Amazon
Show.
size. Well, yeah, and now they're coming up with the screens.
Mm-hmm.
What's not to love there?
It's just
Yeah.
well, and the good thing about some of these things, like the show, and this Amazon Echo Studio, which is more like the Apple Home, has very good sound. You can turn. There's a switch where you can turn off the camera and which this one doesn't have a camera. The camera and the microphones, you can turn them off. Hopefully that works. It's not
Yeah.
just a switch.
My Google Home has a microphone off. It's a little button.
Okay. Because I don't want to listen to me all day long. Nobody wants to listen to me all day long.
No, but nobody wants to look at you either. But
Right.
that one's
And here we are. Okay, the Oculus Quest for $400. I'm not sure if that works with like the regular
virtual
gaming
reality
systems.
games and applications, and this probably, not sure about the handsets and why they're hoop-looking things, but no, I'm not up to date in the virtual reality. Are you,
Yeah.
Dwayne?
Not terribly. I did just read that Google Maps, or Google Earth, is now letting you do a virtual tour, share it with people that maybe where you have taken a trip. So it's kind of they're getting into that virtual reality, if you would, but it's going into the real world using Google Earth. So.
So this is where I stepped off the cliff in the Grand Canyon?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
And they allow you to now map a guided tour of your trip. Yeah. So I don't know, they might be playing off of that and how they also, track you with the Google Map app as well.
And the next thing, we've got a tile tracker. We've had these on before. And I think this could be... I read something about where you could ask your friends to look for your stuff.
Yes.
And it will tell them where your keys are, and then they can tell you where your keys are.
Anybody have experience with, key dongles and,
I don't.
I've got one, and it just seems to eat batteries.
Yeah, I agree.
2032, CRs, and
yeah, those little watch batteries.
I mean, I might as well own stock in the CVS battery, shelf, because.
Yeah. Now I had one that was a battery-less. So when it died, you had to basically throw it away and buy another one. And it lasted about a year and a half.
Okay.
Okay, so the next thing up is the HP Sprocket Studio, which it'll print 4x6 prints off of your phone or computer, because who knows where your photos are going to be like in 50 years after you've changed phones every year 50 times since then, which that's a scary thought. How many times you may have switched your phone over. And if you want to get more serious, there's a Canon Pro 1000 photo printer, which is $1,300. You should know, if you are printing photos with inkjet, those will not last. I know somebody who left a box of them out and they got wet, and all that was left was a bunch of white paper, because the ink from the inkjet just washes right off when it gets wet. So you need a dye sublimation type printer to make real pictures that will last, getting wet or damp. All right, so if you have, I don't know, I have a difficult time waking up, or I don't want to. This is supposed to wake you up nice and slowly. It turns more of a warm color in the morning, probably a cool color at night, or something to wake you up, and then it plays sounds and gradually gets louder, and so it wakes you up more gentle. I don't know if it'd be better just to have coffee brewing to wake you up. All I have is a dog scratching and barking at the door.
I think what you do is make sure that the dog gets plenty of water at night before it goes to bed, and you've got your early warning system right there.
Yeah, she gets me up at 7 a.m. whether I want to or not. Okay.
They do have a schedule.
Yeah, and they don't know when the time changes either.
No.
Okay, this is from Philips. It plugs into the HDMI of your TV and works with these color changing lights. So it works in conjunction with a movie or whatever you're watching on TV, and it shows light behind your television and enhances your viewing pleasure. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So here's another one, Lifestyle Phone Cleaner for $80. It uses UV light to clean your phone, because we all know where your phone's been and we don't want to touch it. And then the last thing I have before we go to Kingsley's list is the ZenPod case for $25 for the AirPods. It's a case for your AirPods, but see the little silver thing in the middle, it's a fidget spinner. So you can, while you're listening to stuff, you can spin the case if you get bored.
Is the fidget spinner going to be the newfangled way to charge them?
No, I don't think, but this is
that's what they should invent. The fidget spinner can charge them.
Right. So then
that manual charging.
You have a job now, just to spin the thing to charge your devices.
Yep.
Not a bad idea.
Dwayne, are your ears set to hold those pods in them? Because I can't hold, earbuds very well in my ears. I have to use the ones that have a foam ring on it and you push in.
Right. Yeah, me as well. They got it looks like a little soft rubber thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
My ears are a little small, and It makes it sore.
So let's just get this straight. You and Mike can get me those Beats headphones that fit over the top.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll just skip the the wireless pods.
Okay. Good.
That works.
We'll
Okay.
check that off the list here.
Black, not white, if there's an option.
Not white. Okay.
Not
Gotcha.
white.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
I was going for pink.
Oh no, Kingsley. Amazon says they're back ordered.
Hey, it takes a real man to wear pink. I can do pink.
You can do it. You can do it. You can pull it off.
Yeah.
Okay, talking about the AirPods, here you go. That's
Well,
just-
we'll whip through these. Mike and Dwayne and I start out, before the show, getting all of our graphics together, and I just went through my list: phones, headphones, pods, over the ears, and the kind that stick in there. So that was kind of my point, that there are some people that just can't hold them sitting on the shelf of their earlobe.
Right.
And so if you are going to gift something, remember you are the tech support for something.
Exactly.
And there's nothing that will make a young person more angry than to get something for them, being well-meaning, and then they find out, well, I just can't wear those. They just don't fit my ears. So do a little bit of research, find out from a friend. And look at that. Is that the the camera? That sure
Yeah, that's
is.
the GoPro and Apple Watch.
Yeah, wearables. Dwayne, did you know that Mike won a Apple Watch again this year?
No, I did not.
Yeah, at the employee picnic, he was fortunate enough to get a wearable, and I don't know if he's going to re-gift that to us, but I know you're an Android person, but there's an extra Apple Watch around.
Yeah, I'd probably force myself, maybe.
All right.
I don't know, though. I might have to wear it like under the wrist kind of thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the watches.
Oh, and again, the one in the upper left is a home health monitor. And I became aware of these when I had a family member that needed to stand on the scales and put on a cuff, and it went through the cellular phone network and reported back into the insurance company. And if he was in need of a home visit, it allowed the home visitation nursing to come. I think we've seen that dog before, and it's still 9:05 a.m. and Mike is late to work. So,
Yeah. Okay, we've got 5 minutes left. Let's skip over to the
Sure.
Scam Awareness Week.
Monday morning, we started all of our training for our Gateway to Success freshmen, talking about cybersecurity, which is something that we put off later into the semester before they go home for Christmas. And I see this on TV, Scam Awareness Week, so it was a great intro for us. The big scam right now is utility companies that have somebody scamming, saying, hi, I'm from the utility company, you're behind in your payments, we didn't get your last payment, you need to go out and get some gift cards from Walmart and send them in to us. And so the big fear is elderly people that are more gullible, and the fact that they can be talked into scams.
Nobody pays by gift card. Remember that.
Yeah. Nobody pays by gift card. It's either direct deposit or you write out the check.
Right.
But again, scamming is big, and you may say, who's that stupid? If one person out of 100 is gullible enough, then when it comes to the folks that make these calls, it pays off, and it's big crime. So what was the other thing I had? The video conferencing that we're using right now with Dwayne, are we on Zoom or are we using Skype?
We're on Skype at this moment.
We're on Skype. There's so darn many of these that allow you to video conference and share desktops, and if you're gaming, being able to produce your game stream and have it broadcast. The news that I saw today was that Slack, which is a streaming company, is really losing a lot of its stock shares because Microsoft has said their new Teams app is just really going out of sight. I always thought that Teams was more competing against Zoom, not Slack.
Yeah.
And Zoom, when it had its IPO, it really is just killing it in the stock market. So like anything else, whether it's politics or anything else in the news, I always have to ask myself, what's the point of this news story, and are they really giving me something that's point on? And with that one, I don't know how Microsoft got that in the news and how Slack lost its favor in the stock market with NASDAQ, but that's the business world for today. Okay. And I think we had one other thing, right, too. Stadia is a new type of online cloud-hosted gaming platform from Google. And like anything else that's just rolling out, there's going to be some growing pains. Gosh, can we remember when Sony got hacked and everybody lost their Sony connection right before the holidays or during the holidays? So in this case, Stadia, you download the games and you're playing off of a host system from Google, and they're going to have to beef up their data centers and everything to handle it. So if you're going to be gifting something that relates to Stadia, it may be a rough holiday season, but hang in there if you're a real Google Chrome and Google fan.
When would you use Stadia? Is it gaming?
It's online gaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Dwayne, what's on your Christmas list?
The biggest thing on the Christmas list is not necessarily for me, but I'm going to say that people out there now, like you said, are cutting cords. And it's not necessarily against anything, but you really got to pay attention to which one you want, because by the time you maybe buy a Netflix or a Hulu and now a Disney Plus, you're back to paying the price of a cable bill or plus. So just be aware that just because you get a Netflix account, you're not going to get everything that you want to see. Just because of Disney Plus now it's out there, they don't carry everything. So just be aware of which accounts carry what you're looking for. And just make sure you try to go for the one that'll satisfy the family the most, I would say.
I guess good advice.
For this good holiday season, as you cut the cords, if you would. And in most cases, cutting the cord is trying to make things cheaper. But it's not going to be cheaper if you end up buying 5 different streaming services.
I'd like to see a side-by-side chart, a comparison of the cost of the streaming services and the cost of your cable and Dish Direct TV and all of those, so that you can see just how much it's costing us for entertainment at home.
Yeah. I agree, and a lot of people say, well, I don't want to watch commercials. Well, the cable company offers this DVR. You can just zap through commercials. So I can watch everything on cable, and it's one bill, and it's one thing. I don't have to log into Netflix. I don't have to log into Hulu. Oh, and then I'm going to watch this show. I want to log into this one.
All right.
And end up going to pay more money because I've got 3 streaming services. Oh, and by the way, I have to increase my internet speed. So now I'm paying $200 plus a month versus $175, and I got everything from cable.
Okay.
So I'm not jumping on anybody's bandwagon, but just be aware of what people want to watch.
Okay.
Good advice.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for this year for your Christmas show. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Tech Talk.
Bye.